So let's go over the playoff brackets. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So, playoff brackets have been set after that doubleheader yesterday between the Mets and the Braves, which kind of changed the landscape of things. Everything is finalized right now, and we're going to go over the bracket in a second. First, I want to send my condolences out to the Rose family. Pete Rose, may he rest in peace, passed away yesterday at the age of 83. And one of the greatest hitters this world and the game has ever seen. I mean, career 303 hitter, 4,256 career hits, okay? His WAR was actually 79.5, 1,300 ribbies, so 160 home runs. And again, and he was known as Charlie Hustle. That was his nickname. He was known as just a hard-nosed player. And he averaged just under 200 hits per year in over 20 years. So that is remarkable, okay? And he still has the MLB hits record. But he, as you know, he's been blackballed by baseball, and Rob Manfred, the commissioner, felt he hasn't shown enough remorse. That way he stayed permanently banned. He's still, and let's just be real, like, this is one of the greatest baseball players. From a player perspective alone, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. But we understand, too, now character matters. And was he a not-so-great person outside the field? Outside? Yes. Okay? But there have been other players that have been just awful people who are in the Hall of Fame. So, posthumously, I do think he'll probably get in now that he's passed. I think, unfortunately, it's probably his death needed to happen in order for him to consider putting him in the Hall of Fame. But I do think he'll get in the next couple of years. He just won't be alive and around to enjoy it and give a speech and so on and so forth. So whatever the reasons are, right, are the reasons. And we may agree, we may disagree. It is what it is. But you let me know what your thoughts about Pete Rose. Okay, he's one of the greatest hitters of all time. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about it. And again, Pete, rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. But now, let's pull this up. The playoff brackets. Oh, yeah. So this is what it looks like. Okay, in the wild card round, the Orioles play the Royals. Okay, and the Astros play the Detroit Tigers. Okay, the winner of the Orioles-Royals series goes to play the Yankees. And the winner of the Astros-Tiger series plays the Cleveland Guardians. Okay, and on the flip side, in the National League, the Padres get the Atlanta Braves in the wild card. And the winner of that series plays the Dodgers. And then you have the Milwaukee Brewers facing the New York Mets. And the winner of that series going to play the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay. That could be a question could arise. Well, there are 3 division winners. Why is one of them playing in the wild card team now? Well, the top 2 seeds get a bye in the first round. So the Phillies and the Dodgers were the top 2 seeds in the National League. The Yankees and the Guardians in the American League. The 3rd seed, or the 3rd division winner who's not a top 2 seed, unfortunately has to play in the wild card round. That's why it is what it is. That's why the Brewers are in. That's why the Astros are in there, right? But nevertheless, it's going to be a good series. Now, let's move. And I'm going to give you my prediction each round, by the way. So after we get to this round, once the divisional series has been decided, I'll give you my brackets and predictions again. So again, if you enjoy this content, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe and you want to just be updated with everything, playoffs, baseball, especially Yankees, hit the subscribe button too. I thank you so much for it. We're going to be covering football in the offseason too. So there's a lot of information to be shared, a lot of good times to be had. So there won't be a downtime on this channel in the offseason. So I thank you so much for your support. We're working our way towards 22,000 subs. So I greatly appreciate it. So now, Baltimore Orioles versus the Kansas City Royals. I think Kansas City has the advantage pitching-wise. Okay, I think they both have young, athletic teams, but and then Baltimore Orioles did also add pitching, but unfortunately, a lot of their pitching has been decimated by injuries. So, and I think Kansas City Royals has that edge. And I do think the Orioles are probably a year away from Jackson Holiday becoming really good, and some of these other guys taking the next step in their development too. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to give this to the Kansas City Royals in 3 games. So I think the Yankees are going to face the Royals in ALDS, which will be a good series too. Next up is the Houston Astros and the Detroit Tigers. Houston Astros getting healthy at the right time, firing on all cylinders at the right time. Detroit Tigers also remind me of last year's Texas Rangers, who kind of ran the table. But I do think them trading away Jack Flaherty is going to wind up biting him in the postseason, where Houston's adding pitchers. Detroit offloaded them. Okay. And Tarek Skubal alone is not enough, unfortunately. So I'm giving this series to Houston Astros in 3. Okay, so Houston Astros, I think, will face the Cleveland Guardians in the other ALDS round. Moving over to the National League, Atlanta Braves versus San Diego Padres. The Padres and the Mets remind me of last year's Arizona Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks were the team that was unfortunately eliminated yesterday. So we got 3 teams in the National League East in this postseason. The Mets, the Braves, and the Phillies. So, but back to the Braves, they're facing the San Diego Padres. And the Padres are kind of kicking on all cylinders too. They've added Tanner Scott. The Atlanta Braves looks like it just scraped through and beat the Braves in the second game last night. I was wondering whether the Mets were going to win both games, but the Braves squeaked through. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat the Padres. So I'm taking the Padres in 3 here. Okay. Padres, and then they're going to go off to face the Dodgers. And that'll be a clash of the Titans there. And then next up, you have the Milwaukee Brewers against the Philadelphia Phillies. Excuse me. I meant the New York Mets. Excuse me. Milwaukee Brewers against the Mets. The Mets are upstart right now. They're also firing on all cylinders. Yes, that the Milwaukee Brewers are a good team. The Mets took it to them recently too. So, and Carl, you have Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso. The underrated moves that Cohen and the Mets have made at the deadline, and even before that, they even added Paul Blackburn and some other players as well. So, I'm giving this to the Mets in 3. So the Mets, I think, are going to face the Phillies. So it's going to be 2 teams in the National League West versus 2 teams in the National League East to see who plays each other. So right now, my picks again are the Royals, the Houston Astros in the American League for the wild card, and then the Padres and the Mets in the National League for the wild card. Okay? Let me know what your thoughts are. Again, this could go other directions too, but I think the Houston's got a little bit too much for Detroit right now. Had Detroit added, I think they would have probably been a different story. But they offloaded, and I think that's going to wind up being the difference between them winning or losing the series. I'm going to give it to Houston, and Houston still has a lot of great players over there. I say Kansas City Royals are loaded up, and I think they're going to continue to load up now that they're in the playoffs. So, Royals, Astros, Padres, Mets. Those are going to be the wild card winners. And obviously, once the divisional rounds happen, we'll bracket those and we'll do those predictions there as well. But you let me know what your thoughts are. What are your winners here? What are your losers? And how many games? Load up the comments. Let's have a discussion. Okay? And what are your thoughts about Pete Rose? I'd love to know what you think too. So have a great day, everybody. If there's anything else that comes out in terms of baseball news and the Yankees, you're going to get it here. Peace.